happiness is not forever. Nobody is happy all the time. You need a little contrast, a little white space to appreciate other things. Without darkness, you cannot appreciate light. You take it for granted. You can't shut out light unless you have darkness. You got it. That's why when we look at the yin yang tai chi sign, right? In the beginning, there is only darkness or only light, and they got married and split into two halves, and you have this. But then you can't see darkness unless you have one spot of light, and you can't appreciate the light unless you have one spot of darkness. So we have to have some degree of contrast. And I say, on days that you feel a little glum and a little gloomy, and say, hey, it's great because this provides the contrast for that which is to come. If you're dark today, you're preparing yourself to appreciate all the light that's out there, and vice versa. So we have to deal with some, and that's why when you ask me how happy I am, I say 9.5. I'd like a little spot there to remind me to appreciate the rest. And so part of, I believe that one of the greatest skills to be happy is to note that happiness goes from moment to moment. Can be happy today, gone tomorrow. The Buddhist philosophy is not to be so attached to it. What happened to you, Tina, is that you covered the specialness that your mother-in-law has given you so much that the one day she forgets to give you that extra special piece, you feel less because you put so much attachment to feeling special with your mother-in-law. But if you just accept that and let it pass through you and leave no attachment to it, whether she gives it to you or not, you'll still be Tina. And you know that her love is still there in the room. You don't have to have more than other people to feel special. You feel special because you choose to feel special. If you like, get an eyebrow pencil and put a dot on your arm. Oh, this one is real. I should sell dots, shouldn't I? I should go around giving people little dots. So we know that each one of us, we have the power and the ability to generate and create happiness for ourselves. Happiness doesn't have to be big. I know people say size matters, but I don't believe in any moment in time you can only experience and hold so much in your hand. Can't take it with you. Gotta give it away. How many of you have found pennies on the street before? When you pick up a penny from the street, what do you do with it?
I put it in my pocket for good luck. Yeah.
Okay. I want you to do something different from now on. Now, first of all, you want to look at it and acknowledge the message, in God we trust. Right? Everybody got a penny? Pick out a penny, share a penny. It says, in God we trust. All right? Then, because you want to feel abundant, you want to give it away to the first person you see. It is to tell the universe that you are generous. Thank you for your gift. Now let me share it with somebody. One very interesting exercise for people who want to attract money into their lives is to go out and give some money away. I was at a lecture in Las Vegas, and he's the president of our association, and he had been a very successful hypnotherapist. He's hypnotized thousands and thousands and thousands of people. He's one of those who go from town to town to town to do weekend seminars to help people quit smoking. So he would do Las Vegas with 2,000 people in the room who want to quit smoking. And he said when he started, he had $75 in his pocket. And people tell him, oh, you're going to die of starvation, and nobody want to see a hypnotist, and so on and so forth. Well, today, he's a very successful man. And he said, you know what I learned? He said, somebody told me, if I want to be rich, I have to give some money away. So he said, way back then, I want to make $1 million. So for 30 days, he did it for 30 days because it takes 30 days to form a habit. So for 30 days, every day he would go out with a pocket full of quarters. And just fill a pocket full of quarters. He would go out to the street and he'll drop the quarters. He'll just drop the money in the street. Every time he drops a quarter, he says, make $1 million, make $1 million, make $1 million, make $1 million. 30 days he did that. And he said what happened in the 30 days, he has programmed his brain to make $1 million. And so he did. He's made $1 million long time ago. But so if you want to do something, get a handful of pennies, go around and say, make happy, make happy, make happy, make me happy. And you will tell yourself to make yourself happy. Make yourself successful. You have to start with a positive intention. Many years ago, I had this idea. I want to have $1 million in assets. And people say, I want to be a millionaire. So I said, I want to be a millionaire too. Blah, blah, blah. So I wrote it down, put it in a red envelope, and put it up on my shelf in my office. Forgot all about it. But I had written, by such and such date, I shall have $1 million in assets. Put it up. And then not so long later, I forgot all about it. And a client who's a financial planner wants to have my business. And one of the things I have to do is to inventory my assets. So I sat down and listed everything, all the assets, if any liabilities. And then I have a net figure. And I screamed at Steve. I said, get down here. He thought something happened to me. I said, look. I said, we are in 7 figures. I said, say hello to a millionaire. And then I remembered. So I went, took the thing out of the red envelope, and I looked at the date. It was way past due. So if you don't ask for it, you're not going to get it. And every time we are unhappy because we are inflexible. We are sticks in the mud. If it ain't my way, it's no way. Then you become very unhappy because nobody's ever going to do anything your way. You have to train them, or you have to be flexible. I think, how many of you have read the Napoleon Hill series of books? Napoleon Hill wrote Think and Grow Rich. And with that, there's a whole series of other writers like Clement Stone and Og Mandino. I suggest if you don't bring $6 for Think and Grow Rich, you will never be rich. I have bought several copies of the books I've read, of the same book. I've read it many, many times. I've given many copies away. Sometimes I'll buy a stack and I'll give them away to clients. And when I read Napoleon Hill for the first time, I said, oh gosh, the guy's a hypnotherapist. Because he talks about positive mental attitude. That which you want for yourself, you've got to first have a positive attitude towards it. If you want to lose weight and you keep saying, oh, I'm so fat, I'm so fat, I'm so fat. And what does your subconscious mind hear? Fat, what a good idea, let's get some more. Right? Or if you go to Weight Watchers, what's the key word in Weight Watchers? Weight. Oh, let's put some more on. Yeah, your subconscious doesn't know how to take it away. You say weight, the subconscious say weight. Okay, let's get some. You say, I'm healthy. Do you know how many people say negative things about themselves? Oh, I'm so stupid. I said, that you are. And people say, oh, Krita, you're so smart. Now I've learned. I say, yes. Because it's true. I am smart. But if you don't believe you're smart, you'll never be smart. I'm not being smug or being arrogant about it. You have to claim what you want. Now, what is one thing you want? Want to be debt free? Yes? Want to be rich? Yes?
Debt free.
Yeah, so I want to be debt free. Some people will say, oh, I want $100,000. I said, even if it pays off your debt, if you don't learn the habits of being debt free, it's only a matter of time you get right back to where you were. Like bailing your kids out of their credit card debt is only geography and time. You zero it out in time, he or she is going to run up a bill again because, hey, you know, I don't know how not to use a credit card. So you want to get after the core of the matter of what you really want, right? Some people say, oh, you know, if I have $100,000, I'll be debt free, I'll be happy. But no, you won't, because you don't know how to deal with money. But if you say, God, deliver me from debt, make me debt free, you're going to learn a series of behaviors that's going to lead you to a debt-free life. You're going to learn a series of behaviors that are going to lead you to a chemical-free life, right? If you were a drug user, you'll never use again. So the whole idea of creating a new pattern. So now we say, let's create for ourselves a habit of happiness. What does that look like? Well, happiness begins with you, right? Joy begins with you. Look around you and say, well, I can sit here and complain about I'm not tall enough, I'm not thin enough, I'm not young enough, my husband is not sexy enough. Whatever it is, if you choose to complain about something, by golly, you can find 100,000 ways to complain about something. But instead, if you look to finding something happy and positive to say about something, no matter what the adversity. My mom used to say, if the heavens should fall upon you, consider it a soft blanket. I said, huh? In Chinese, it's very poetic. I have to think about it. I said, really, Mom? Sky fall on me is a soft blanket. The clouds are so wonderful. I said, you know, clouds are nothing but water vapors. So we have to use our imagination. I used to teach a class where I talk about what do happy people do. Really, as a health educator, I talk about what are healthy people. What are some characteristics of healthy people? Healthy people, first of all, you can't be happy unless you're healthy. I learned that. As a health educator, I thought, oh, wow, I got to get people healthy. You got to eat right, got to move that body, got to do this, got to do that. And then you realize that somebody who's buff and eat right and exercise 5 times a day, we know a friend like that, right, with all these muscles, and she's about the most unhappy person you want to be around, right? You can stand within 10 feet of her, you can feel her energy throwing darts at you. Okay, so then what does it take? What does it take? What do happy people do? And so I came up with a list. Okay, number 1, I call those positive humans when I was doing the positive connection thing. I said positive people, number 1, are creative people. We create, we imagine for ourselves things that make us smile, right? You know, some people, the sun shines, it's too hot, and the rain falls, it's too wet. So you have to find something positive. I like to tell a story. This elderly lady was driven and dropped off at an old people's home. Her children are all well-to-do. In fact, one of her children drove her in their beautiful big luxury vehicle. And so the orderly in the nursing home came to get her in a wheelchair, and she said, and the young man said, Mrs. Smith, let me show you to your room and I'll give you a tour of the facility and so on. And the old lady said to the young man, "What's your name, son?" He said, "My name is Thomas." And she said, "Thomas, there is no need. I am going to be really happy here. How about you?" And the young man said, "How could you?" He was feeling very sorry for her. No, none of her children want her. And they just dropped her off, didn't even go to see her to her room. And he was feeling very sorry for the lady. And the woman said, "Oh, this is so wonderful, isn't it, Thomas? I'm going to be so happy here because I'm going to be here for the rest of my life. How about you, Thomas?" Thomas again looked at. And then finally he said, "How could you say that, Mrs. Smith? Your children just dumped you here. You haven't even seen your room. How do you know you're going to be very happy for the rest of your life?" And the woman looked at him and said, "Thomas, I am choosing to be very happy till I die. Something no one can take away from me. Are you happy, Thomas?" She says, "No matter where I am, I have choice, and I choose to be happy." So it's that she is creative. She's creating her own happiness. She is choosing her own happiness. Positive humans are fearless. They are not afraid to live their truth. They are not afraid to tell their truth. Good, bad, or ugly, you speak your truth. See, when you spoke your truth, it feels so much better to travel light. You don't have to carry it anymore. You carried it for 24 hours since last night. So it's good to travel light, shed, and tell the truth. If you have to say you're sorry, say you're sorry. Better yet to make amends, because I don't believe in saying sorry. I'm simply said, my behavior last night was inexcusable. Will you do me the honors and let me fix it? I will bring the avocados next time. And when you take responsibility for your behavior, it's empowering, because you can do something about it and you don't owe them anything. Positive humans are optimistic. You see a glass, is it half empty or is it half full? Either way, you're correct. Or you can be creative and say it's the wrong size glass. Because no matter what I have in my cup, I choose that my cup be running over with joy. Something nobody can take away from me. Positive humans have a positive sense of self. If you don't like how I look, I'm sorry for you, because you are looking. I happen to like how I look. Right? So whether you like how I look or you don't like how I look, it's not going to make me any bigger or smaller, more or less. I am still who I am, and I'm just right. So if you have a positive sense of self, I don't have to know everything. I know some things, and I know some things very well. I remember one time we were on Lake Erie, and my friend Kitty and her family, they have a little ski boat. And we had a big boat, and we do windsurfing. And so the kids were all skiing around the lake. Skiing is not something I enjoy. So they were all teasing me, "Oh, come on, Kui-tai, don't be such a wuss. Get on the skis, blah, 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 blah." And I finally say, "Hey, leave me alone. Knock yourself out. I don't enjoy skiing, and I don't want to get on the skis. So call me what you want. I'm just going to sit here and I can do what I want." So don't let people push you into doing something you don't want to do. I said, I don't want to ski. Even if you can jump and do whatever you want to do, it doesn't impress me either. I don't care. I really don't care. You see, I like to sit here on the sand and read my book, so leave me alone, right? Positive humans are internally driven. Means that I don't need you to motivate me to do what I want to do. If I want to go do something, I'm just going to go do something. I don't need your approval. I'm not a child anymore. And I'll find the means if I don't have it. If that's something I want, I am internally driven. It is when people who require other people to motivate them, then if they don't do well, guess what? You can blame him. Adrian made me do it. It's all his fault, right? I made a total fool of myself at Toastmasters because he dragged me there to make this speech and the whole room is laughing at me. It's his fault. Well, it's not his fault because I chose to stand up there and make an ass of myself. It's my fault. As soon as I learn that, then I don't have to sit around and feel powerless and blame other people for things that didn't work out well for me. So when you're internally driven, you take responsibility for your own actions. And that is empowering, don't you think, Courtney? I think Courtney had a huge revelation that she has choice. Positive, happy people are capable of physical intimacy. Now this is very big piece for ourselves because if we are not comfortable with our bodies, we cannot expect to be comfortable, other people to be comfortable with our bodies. And we cannot expect to be comfortable with our bodies in a private space with another human being. That's part of learning how to be happy with yourself and not criticize yourself a lot. Many people will say, oh gosh, I can't go shopping with you, Kritai, because I'm not going to buy clothes now until I lose 10 pounds. How many of you have done that, said that, heard that, right? I have been guilty of that. And then I learned that when you do that, you're being terribly disrespectful of yourself. Because you're saying, Kritai, you're not worth anything today. You do not deserve new clothes today because you're 10 pounds heavier than you should be. Wow. With friends like that, who needs enemies? Right? And happy people are capable of emotional intimacy. And that's important. To be able to say what you want to say to whom you have to say it to at the time you need to say it. How you feel. That's a big, tall order. And I think each item we can do a week's workshop on it. Right. Positive, happy people look to good things in the future. We don't hope. We take charge of our future. We create positive outcomes for our future. We are excited about our future. We're not nervous about our future. Nervousness is putting a lot of emotional energy into expecting negative outcomes. You just have to flip the switch. It takes just as much of the same emotional energy to say, hey, Santa Claus is coming to town. How do you feel? Right? You feel excited. I am excited about the day. Get up in the morning, you can say, oh, grouch, you know, I'm going to meet all the red lights, I'm going to blah, blah, blah. Or you can wake up in the morning and say, wow, oh my God, it still works. It's still there. Happy people are peaceful people. You have a peace within yourself and you bring peace wherever you go. And you figure out positive solutions to problems at hand. There's always a solution if you look at it. And so positive people, happy people take good care of themselves. They take good care of other people. They take good care of their bodies. They take good care of their family. They take good care of their friends. They take good care of their environments. So every day, in every way, if we look to it, you can do one small thing to make a difference. And you wouldn't know the magnitude of that difference. But just one small thing in writing your name with your left hand, she has increased her happiness 15%. What a great return. At least. And in so doing, you made her, look at her, she's happy. It's infectious. She's been sitting there.
try that myself.
Yes, and she's sitting there grinning. Try it in your office. You'll be surprised how much happiness it brings. And then it radiates to her, to her, to her, to her. Now, I tell you what, if you do it in the reverse, it will glum up the whole place. You know, there are some people who have this big ability to glum up a place. But we can glam up a place instead of glum up a place, and all you do is change one letter in the word. I wish you a very happy month, and we'll see each other again in October.